Let's thank tonight's host, Ma'or Resilio, and the family. Hashem should give them b'achava atzlacha, and should always bless them with the finer things in life. Most of all, a smile on their face. That's it. And tonight's sponsors are, one of them is sitting to the left. His name is Jackie Moseri. Hashem should give him also b'achava atzlacha, chol ma'aseh yadav, and should have success, business and health. The other sponsor is Jackie Sheka.
Nisim.
Abi Nisim.
And Anonymous.
Anonymous? Wow. So it's a big night. So Hashem should bless everyone. Abi Nisim, Jackie Sheka, Jackie Moseri, and Anonymous with all the best things in life, and Hashem should answer all the prayers. Amen. Tonight's class is going to be an interesting topic. I always love this topic. Every time when I prepare a class, I think about what people would like. I have like 4 different topics in the parasha, and I'm like, okay, this one is good for this time, this one is good for this house. Everyone has a different topic that I usually confirm with people before class to see which one makes sense, which one's more exciting. So tonight I decided to go with a topic that's called regrets. Regrets. People have regrets in life. People sometimes make regrets. People don't understand that they're going to regret something later on, and in the end they will. Tonight we'll talk about that. This is a very, very important topic. It really comes down to 2 things: living in the moment, or seeing the greater picture. Do I live do I eat because right now I'm hungry? Or do I eat because I'm eating for a different purpose? Is everything I'm doing in life, is it now? Is it just for this moment? Or do I have a greater purpose in life? That's the question tonight. And let's begin. Parashat talks about the sale of Yaakov and Esav, the famous sale, where Esav sells pretty much all of his eternal future to Yaakov over a pot of lentil soup. Famous sale. We'll go over the exact sale. The Parashat talks that Esav that day.
Was it really lentil soup?
Yeah. Pasuk says that Yaakov came home that day. Vayazed Yaakov nazid. Yaakov is making this lentil soup. Why? Because that day his grandfather, Abraham Avinu, passed away. That same day, Abraham passed away. And the reason why they make lentil soup is because lentil is like a circle. So to show that when life passes away, it's a circle. You're born, you die, you live, you're born, you die, it's a circle. Therefore, when person's mourning, they usually have lentil soup to remind them this fact. So Yaakov was making this lentil soup, and Esav comes, V'yavo Esav min hasadeh. Esav comes from the field. V'hu ayef, he's tired. Rashi says, you know why he was tired? That day he killed a lot of people. He killed one of them, his name was Nimrod. One of the famous kings, he killed him that day. So he was tired, man. He comes home and he sees Yaakov making this soup. Vayomer Esav Yaakov. Esav tells Yaakov, Hal iteni na min ha'adom hazeh. Doesn't say pour me a cup. Hal iteni na. Hal iteni means take the whole pot of soup, pour it down my throat. I don't want a cup. I don't want a bowl. Just seriously, come here. I'm hungry. Boom! Pour the whole thing down my throat.
There are times you come home from work and you want to.
Yeah, you tell me, just make the plate ready, right? Make it hot. I don't care what it is. Just put it down on the table, and I'm ready to eat it. And he was so hungry. It doesn't even say that he even realized what he was eating. It just says, "Give me whatever that Adom thing is, whatever that red thing is. Just give it to me." He didn't realize what it was. He didn't realize that it's lentil soup, because if he realized it was lentil soup, he would realize that, hey, something happened. Who's sitting? Who's mourning? Who died? It's my grandpa. He didn't even realize that Abraham Avinu just passed away. All he knows is that he wants to eat and he sees red.
He didn't eat from the hunting?
What happened?
He didn't eat from the thing he caught? People?
He caught Nimrod that day. He killed Nimrod.
You said Abraham just died. It wouldn't have mentioned that in the pasuk right before it. It didn't mention.
It did mention that.
What does that mean? Abraham just died. It's a Torah.
It mentions in the previous pasukim. It doesn't mention right now. It mentions in the last parasha that Abraham died. But the Torah is written out of order. So this chapter right now is happening that same day that he died. So it wrote already that he died, but now it's going into that day when he died. This is the story that happened. So when he died, What happened was is that Esav comes home like we see, and he's hungry, he wants to eat. And he says here, again, Hal iteni, not pour this thing down my throat. Min ha'adom hazeh, whatever this thing is red, give it to me. Why? Ki ayef anochi, I'm tired. Al ken kara shemo Adom, that's what they call his nation Edom. Okay. Next pasuk. Vayom Yaakov says, wait, you wanna eat the soup that I'm making? No problem. Michra kayom et bechoratcha li. Sell some of your bechorah. Some of your birthrights. Again, what does birthrights mean? Birthrights means, on a religious level, you get to serve Bet HaMikdash. You get the berachot that's going to, and eventually be yours. You get all the finer things in life on a religious level. You're going to get the better part of it. Being bechor means you're going to get Olam Hazeh, Olam Haba. You're going to get the Judaism. You're going to get the mitzvot. You're going to get everything. Right? That's what he tells him. I want that. I want the future. I want the eternalness. I don't want just the soup. I want everything. Give me your bechorah. I want the birthright. I want to have children going to work in Bet HaMikdash. I want those kids. So Esav tells him. Vayomer Esav tells him, Hine anochi olech lamut. I'm going to die. But what do I need the bechorah for? Esav's answer is a pure Esav answer. It's like the number one answer that anyone can possibly say. What do I care what the bechorah for? You think I care about what's going to happen 500 years from now with my grandkids? I'm hungry. Give me some food. I don't care what you want to tell me. It's like some guy comes to the restaurant. He goes to buy. What? He goes to the restaurant. He goes to sit down, and the guy is before he's ready to order a sandwich. The guy says, "Hey, if you want a sandwich, no problem. I'll give it to you. But just do one favor. In 2,000 years from now, you're gonna have a kid. I want you to sell me those rights." You think I care what's going to happen in 2,000 years? Take it. I don't, just give me the food. That's what Esav said. But he says again, Hine anochi olech lamut. I'm going to die. I have no purpose for eternalness, not looking for the haba. I'm going to die. I'm going to live and die. That's all I'm doing. But lama zeli bechorah? What do I care what the bechorah for? So this is the whole entire sale. I want to continue a little more though. Next pasuk says, Yaakov tells him, okay, let's make a deal. It's promise. They signed the contract. They made a deal. V'Yaakov natan lechem le'Esav. Yaakov gives him bread. Michael, I have a question for you. Did Esav ask for bread? Why did Yaakov give him bread for? Yaakov all of a sudden throws into this deal. He gives him bread. Listen to what Yaakov thought. He said, I know what's going to happen. I know Esav. Esav's going to come to me 2 weeks later and say, hey, Yaakov, that was a not fair sale. You know why? It's called ones. Ones means when someone's very, very hungry, right? You come home from the field, you're starving. So I sell you something because I'm not in my right mindset. I was hungry and I wasn't really clear. So I sold you the bechorah, but it wasn't an actual sale. Therefore, the whole thing is invalid. It's negated. Yaakov knew that. So you know what he did? He gave him bread. Eat the bread, get full. Now you can't come back and say, you sold it because you were hungry. You weren't hungry. I filled you up first. First he filled him up. Then he gave him the lentil soup and said, here, now we're making the deal. Are you now going to do it because you're hungry, or are you doing it because you really don't care about it? That's when Esav said, I don't care about it. Does Yaakov understand that he's getting a better deal? And there's actually a halakha on this. Halakha l'maaseh. He said there's a rule. If I know that this bottle costs $1, on the market value it's $1. And now I have a store, let's say, I don't know, in the desert. Okay? On the way to Eilat, there's a store I opened up. I'm selling bottles of water. I make a price of water $8.
Gouging.
Am I allowed to do that? Yes or not? No, halakha says. Halakha says.
Like the people selling gas during Sandy.
Right, it's like the Uber guy is doing charging more money in the hurricane, right? Halakha says that you can't charge really more than 6 times the value. You can't staff a guy who's, let's say,
Really? That's halakha?
let's say, right. So you can make money.
No, 6 times the market value, not 6 times the...
If you're selling something for $7, you can't sell for 70.
No, he's talking about the market value.
Yeah, if this watch costs $1,000, you
I'm saying
if you can make money selling it for $1,000, right? That's a normal price.
You gotta charge him like.
But there's also...
A customer comes into you and says, "Do you know what? I'm selling this for $7,000,000."
It's technical.
And the guy buys it from you. Did you make it sit or not? The answer is that if you if you charge more than 6 times the value, it's called onah.
Don't let
problem. The rule is that we don't want to take advantage of anybody. We have a certain rule we go by, and we don't take advantage. So in this case, there's a question. Yaakov definitely knew that he got the better part of the deal. So how is this not a problem on Yaakov's side? And the answer is, I have to give you a story to understand it. There's once a man who came to his rabbi and said, I have not that much money to marry off my daughter. My daughter's getting married, and I can't pay for the wedding expense. So the rabbi told him, he said, listen, I'm giving you advice. Hashem's going to help you out. The next business deal that you see, any deal that's offered to you, take it. Because from that deal, you're going to make a lot of money. Okay? The guy listened to the rabbi, whatever he said, I'm going to do. He was walking home from the rabbi's house, traveling on the way. He decided to stop off by a hotel that night. So that night he stops by a hotel, and there was other people there in the hotel, other Jewish people there. But the other guys in the other hotel that came, they were the salesmen, they were business guys. They were like hot shots. So one of the guys in that group, the salesmen, they saw this poor looking Jew. And the guy told him, watch this, I'm gonna go now rip off this other guy and see, he's probably gonna buy it. He's probably gonna fall for it. So he goes to this poor looking Jew, he goes to him, says, hey, you wanna buy my lam haba? So the guy remembers what the rabbi told him. Any offer that's offered to you, take it. So the guy says, I'll sell you my lam haba for 1 ruble. Ruble is like a certain amount of money back in Europe in those days.
Standard
Right?
currency.
I'll sell you my lam haba for 1 ruble. So the Jew says, sold. Takes out a ruble from his pocket. He gives him the ruble. It's not a contract. I sold my haba to you for 1 ruble. Now the guy that sold him, the salesman guy, he's like, wow, this guy's a fool. I just ripped this guy off. I sold him nothing. I sold him air. I sold him nothing, right? Allah doesn't believe in it. He sold him Allah haba for a ruble, and the guy who bought the haba, he's like, all right, my rabbi told me I'm going to get a success. I'm happy I got Allah haba today. I bought Allah haba. Whatever it's worth. That day, the salesman guy goes home to his house, tells his wife, he's like, yeah, you don't know what happened today. I made the best deal. I ripped off this guy. She's like, what happened? He said, hey, I sold this guy. I wanted to see if he's going to fall for it, so I sold my lam haba for 1 ruble. She's like, what? You sold him your lam haba for 1 ruble? She said, I want to divorce you. He said, whoa, what? It's a joke, I made a joke. We sold him a ruble, I ripped him off. She said, I don't want to marry somebody who sold his lam haba away. I don't want you. You have to, and the only way I'll get you back is if you go get that money, if you go get your lam haba back. He goes, whoa, I don't know if I'm going to get it back now. I'm going to go get my lam haba back. So he goes to the hotel that night, and the guy was still there. He goes to this Jewish guy and tells him, listen, I need to buy the lam haba back from you. He says, I'm sorry, it's not for sale. I can't sell it back. I can't sell it back. He says, you don't understand. I need my lam haba back. I need it back. We need a refund. He says, you don't understand. I can't sell it. I have a deal that I made with my rabbi. I can't sell it. Whatever deal I make, I'm going to have success. I can't. That was the deal I made. The guy goes, listen, man, this is a tough situation I'm in. We have to go to your rabbi's house. So they both travel to the rabbi. And the rabbi hears both cases, and he tells the salesman guy, he says, listen, I made this guy a promise. I made him a deal, and he went according to my rule. He did what he did. You made a mistake of selling lam haba. It's your fault. If you want to get it back from him, there might be a way out of it. Might be a way out of it. He tells him, he says, you see, this guy wants to marry off his daughter. If you pay for her wedding, I think he'll give you back the lam haba. The guy tells him, do you agree? He says, yeah, I agree, why not? Sure. So the guy makes a contract. He goes, this is my shalom bayit, I need this. I'll pay anything you want. So he signs a contract. He has to pay for the whole wedding and gets a lam haba back. See, this is the exact case what happened between Yaakov and Esav.
You just told us a 6-7 time thing.
That's not onah.
Okay.
The problem in that story was, you know why it wasn't, it was a fair deal? Because the guy who sold it, at that moment, his lam haba was worth what? Nothing. He didn't care about it.
He valued it at a ruby.
He valued it at 1 ruble. His fault. You lost on it. Now you want to buy it back to the cost tons of money. You lost. You're on the other end of the stick.
So the price goes up.
When Yaakov bought the mechorah from Esav, it was worth a bowl of soup. It wasn't worth that much money. Esav didn't care about it. So the ona'ah rule only goes according to the seller. It's about the seller. What does the seller value it at?
But can't you also say ignorance? People go to trade shows, people go to the antique shows or
Right.
Jewelers. You find a rock on the floor. Oh, it's a little rock. You sell it for. How many times do people sell something in yard sales? They don't know what it
They're
is.
talking about the seller, not the buyer.
The seller.
The seller's ignorant.
Yeah,
He
so-
finds a rock on the floor. He sells
So?
it for 50 cents.
You bought it. I got it.
No, 100%. It's a valid sale.
Right.
But I'm saying, what if he goes to a jeweler and the jeweler rips him off or something because he doesn't know the value? Oh, here's a
No,
rock. How much is this?
that's gneva. That's stealing.
That's what I'm saying.
But did Yaakov know the value?
That's
of
stealing.
it?
So Yaakov,
Esav, he could have. It's not like he didn't know. He knew what Olam Haba was. He knew what it was. He just didn't care for it.
So he knew he was.
He knew it. Just for him, it was valued. It's like if I give somebody a sidur, one guy could appreciate. One guy said, "I don't care about this," and throws in the garbage. It's not that he wasn't aware about it. He grew up in the house of Yitzchak. Yitzchak was his father. He was a big. Esav knew what was right and wrong. He had kibud avim. Yes.
One can argue that if he really knew what it was,
Yeah.
after he was full off the bread, he would be like, no, I have nothing to lose here. I'm full already. What's the reason?
So he was full, and he had now his options.
yeah, you didn't have
Decide.
the knowledge.
Should I do this or not do this? It was his choice.
Any logical person would say no. I want to keep my Olam Haba. I mean, I want to keep the bracha.
Any person that has religion in his life.
But what was he?
A person that has no religion, you don't talk to him about concepts in Judaism. He doesn't care about that.
But
Same thing. You go to an atheist. I want your llama back. 50 cents.
Okay, even that, maybe he wouldn't do it. If he had any logic.
But if he's a full atheist, he doesn't
Okay.
know.
So that's his shame. It's a shame for him.
What does Midrash say that was going through? Yeah, Esav said because he was obviously Talmid Chacham also. He didn't have.
Esav says 3 words. Anochi olech lamut. I'm going to die. I don't care about anything Judaism. I don't care about anything religion. All I care about is this moment right now I'm living in. I'm hungry. I want to eat.
Why was he going to die? Like, what was like? He could grab an apple from his mother's house.
No, not that he's going to die because there's no
It's a
food.
bigger speech.
He's saying
What
later
about
on in
the
life
future?
I'm dying.
Oh, I'm dying.
Meaning,
I said that
there's
before.
no Olam Haba for me. There's no Olam Haba. There's no Tichat Evatim. I don't believe in those
It's like
concepts.
you tell an atheist,
Right?
I'll buy your
Wait,
llama
why does he believe in it? He sees miracles day in day out. He sees his fall going to the sadeh.
I'd say
coming out of the
Esav.
sadeh.
I'd say Esav. Esav doesn't believe in that kind of stuff.
The kid's a rebel, you know?
Question, maybe I'm confused. Doesn't he come back after and he's upset at this? And he says you ripped me off?
Beautiful question.
So like, what are we talking about right now? He was aware that he got ripped off. Like, right now, like, in a couple of...
There's a concept called by the Goyim. They love it. They love this. They love this concept. It's called "Eat and drink and be merry, for tomorrow we will die." It's a Goyish. It's a quote from the Goyim. It's a famous quote, and the quote means really that there is no tomorrow. There is no next week. There is no 5 months from now, and there is no thinking about my grandchildren. It's right now. Right now, I'm drinking because I'm hungry. Right now, I'm eating because I'm starving. Right, I'm living life because I want to. I'm going to the club because I want to have a fun life.
Live in the moment.
I'm not thinking of something else. Right, I'm living in the moment. But then, what happened was that Esav comes back.
Billy's?
Esav comes back,
No, my Dave.
and he says, "Vayitzak za'aka gidula ad meod." Esav yells and screams and hollers because he realizes
What changed?
he
was
realizes
adult.
he realizes that he made the mistake of his life.
How do you realize?
When does he yell that? When does he yell?
I don't know.
Not when he make the sale, but when he lost the blessings from Yitzchak, he realized that everything now came full circle because Yitzchak blessed the Bechor. Who has the Bechor now? He sold it to Yaakov. He says, "Wow, I now realize."
If you really think about it, he thinks his brother's a trickster. My brother tricked me. Look at the bracha he got. Look at me. And he feels like he got tricked. He feels like he's.
If you allow me to get maybe a little deep, I'll do it maybe. But let me just finish the class and I can maybe get a little deep in this. Because you cannot understand it if it's not deep. And if not, it'll be very hard to understand it. But on the simple level right now, yeah, Esau wakes up a little bit too late. His fault. He missed the boat. You see, the problem is that people, you have 2 options. You have the momentary pleasure, you have the physical pleasure, you see desires in front of you, or you have the deeper concepts of Torah, mitzvot, and things that are spiritual, and you put them on a scale at that moment. And you say to yourself, it's Saturday morning. Should I sleep a little longer? Stay up to 11 o'clock? Stay in bed? Whatever. I'll miss you one day, whatever. Right? Think about it. Or should I break that slumber and get out of bed and it's hard and it's annoying and it's tired and go to shul? At that moment, you're juggling two things. You're really juggling the moment, or you're juggling the eternal life. That's exactly what Esav did at that moment. He juggled it. He picked that moment to eat. He should have picked not to sell it. He would have kept his whole future. But he sold it. And you know what? He regretted it. Yeah, and we don't feel bad for him. That's his fault. He has to deal with that. And there's people in life that regret things. The Ben Abachai says that the reason also why he had lentil soup that day is because to represent in life the physical world. It's like a lentil, it's like a circle, which means at times you might be on a high, you might think you're rolling, right? You're enjoying everything, but then slowly the tide turns and you're on the low part. That's where life is when it comes to physical things. You enjoy it, but then the other part of it, you suffer, you regret it, you don't want to do that.
That's a good example.
Right? There was on Yom Kippur in Beit HaMikdash, they used to take the Kohen Gadol would take two seirim, two goats, two animals, and one of them will be, they'll do lottery. One will be called Sa'ir La Azazel, one will be called like the Azazel, and one will become Sa'ir Ta Hashem. Which means that these two animals, both the same, identical, one of them is going to get shechted on the spot, and that's going to be offered to Korban and go straight to Hashem, and one of them is going to be alive for a little bit longer. So picture in your mind these two animals, if they had their own minds, if they were speaking. Okay, two animals. One's a Azazel, which means one's like a bad, he's a Yetzer Hara guy, he's not a good animal. And the other animal is Sa'ila Hashem, he's a perfect Jew, perfect guy, perfect animal. Okay? The one who's a bad guy, Azazel, he sees his friend Sa'ila Hashem get shechted on the spot, and he's dead. What's this guy thinking? He says, hey, this guy was a pure saint his whole life, and he gets shechted. I'm living the high life. I'm enjoying life, I'm not dead yet, I'm still enjoying. He doesn't know that in a few minutes, they walk him to a part of the desert, out in the desert, they go to a certain cliff, and they push him off the cliff, and he gets tumbling down the cliff, and that's how he dies.
Isn't it talk about Al-Haim?
It's a whole different class. I love that question. It's a whole different class though. Because that Sa'id al-Azazel, in those days they knew, whatever, I can't get into it. They knew what they were. But the animal gets thrown off. For that moment though, he was thinking like, hey, I'm riding the high life. The other guy was a Jewish saint his whole life, and here he got shechted and he's done. The only problem is this guy went to Hashem, this guy went down the cliff. In life you have two people. You have two Jewish people. Right? A guy who's living the high life, living the party life, and he's looking at his friend like, hey, come on, don't be so religious. Relax a little bit. Let loose. No, don't be so tough all the time. Don't be so serious. Don't be so strict in your schedules and everything. And the other guy might seem like he's getting the finer things in life, but a day will come when that person looks at the other guy and says, "Wow, I regret those actions I did. I regret it. I wish I did what you did because I see what happens in the end. I see in the end things come full circle. And we don't see it at that moment. At the moment we juggle things. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I live in the moment? Should I not live in the moment? That's what life is all about. Yetzer Hara, Yetzer Tov. It's always a battle between those two guys. Every single day. Are you living in the moment, or are you seeing things in the greater future? And that's what happens to Esav. Are we feeling sad for Esav? Not really. You had a perfect opportunity to understand this concept. He lost it. In the end, yeah. When he lost the berachot, Vayitzak Sa'aka, he yelled and screamed, and he felt that he missed it. Is it his fault? It's 100%. Who else would it be? No one told you to do what you're doing, right? And the same thing happened, by the way, later on in life. Same exact two people came back to the world, had the same exact story. Yaakov comes back, and Esav comes back. They come back later on in times of Haman. Yaakov is Mordechai, and Haman is Esav. Before the story of Purim we know about, what happened was that Haman and Mordechai were both in Achashverosh's army together. This is Midrash before the story of Purim happened. They're both in the same army, in the Persian army. And Ahasuerus sent these two generals, Mordechai and Haman, with their own platoons, and he gave them enough food to survive the war. Haman's men ate the food really, really quickly and finished out all the food. Mordechai rationed off his meals, and each one of his soldiers got a ration every day, and they survived the war. Haman's guys came to Haman and said, "Listen, we want food or we're killing you." Haman runs to Mordechai and tells him, listen, sell me some of the food, my men are going to kill me. He says, okay, no problem. Just do me a favor. Write me a contract. He says, contract? What do you mean? He says, yeah. I want you a contract. I'm going to give you the money now. I know you don't have any money, but so you're going to be paying me back as being my servant. My servant. He goes, no problem. I got it. I'll do it. I need some money. I'm going to die. He goes, the only problem is we don't have any pen.
Sure. Says
one of the Medashim that they actually took, some say it was the blood of Haman's, made a scratch in Haman's body, and blood came out. They used it to write in blood, and some say it was they took a leaf, whatever it was, they wrote down a contract. Haman is Mordechai's eved, his slave, until he pays it back. Mordechai kept that always on him, all the time.
Wasn't it on the bottom of his shoe?
Some say bottom of his shoe.
Yeah.
He always kept it on him. He knew one day he's going to need it. Fast forward to the story of Purim, when Haman becomes now second in command and demands everyone to bow down to him, and everyone's bowing down except one guy, Mordechai. Mordechai shows him, listen, you're my slave, I own you. I own you. You're not bowing down to me.
You couldn't pay him back?
He didn't pay him back.
What?
I own you.
Why didn't Mordechai?
Vayimalech Haman, he got angry.
Yeah, he could have made it public.
Haman made the same exact mistake. Eat. You didn't ration it off. You didn't have that. You made the same mistake that Esau made back then. And Yaakov being Mordechai doing the same thing, writing things down, being careful, being precise. He knew that Esau's way of life is quick, everything moments. Mordechai and Yaakov had the greater picture in mind. And that's how Am Yisrael survived. If we think always the future, us being Jewish, we always think of our grandchildren, we always think of our legacy, the future. We don't think of this moment. So therefore, when a person lives in our times, right, every day we have this battle. Do this, do that. It comes down to one thing. Think of the greater picture. Think of what result will come from this action. Am I going to have a momentary pleasure? Will I get a nice time right now? Yeah, but on expense of what? Am I going to hurt something later on? To always think about that. It's a very, very important lesson that we have to learn. Amen.